The Indominus 2.0 has definitely taken the dinosaur or Jurassic Park community by a storm, where the Indominus 2.0 is definitely the hybrid to B tier. And in all honesty, we have to give credit where credit is due. It started off with Goji Guy when he made Hank versus the Indom 2.0, a hybrid where the Spinosaurus was the base genome, but adding other creatures like the Indominus Rex and other creatures to its DNA, which unfortunately, and in all honesty, kinda did see that coming, with Goji Center properly and utterly just destroying the hybrid without even having the Indom 2.0 lift a finger, because again, Hank pretty much overloaded himself here. However, only one person has managed to get this right, and obviously that is the GOAT, Madly Mesozoics here. And believe it or not, I would even give Dangerville their credit for making a Kaiju hybrid for the Indom 2.0. And plus, I am a huge fan of Madly Mesozoics. Can't wait for his hyena surviving the Triassic. Hopefully we can maybe get some, I don't know, lions or maybe even tigers even. I would love to see them in like their own prehistoric environments, you know. I think it would be just amazing here. And well, going over this and pretty much analyzing the Indominus 2.0 here, I decided to make my own hybrid. And well, I think you guys will like it. So I introduced to you all the Viperius. Yeah, this guy is basically a hybridized version of Godzilla 1998. Very interesting, isn't it? Now, let's talk about the lore. In the multiverse, there is a universe known as the Shattered Glass Universe. Each multiverse in the Transformers Omniverse has these parallel universes where the Autobots are just vicious, cruel beings, and the Decepticons pure, noble, and honorable as they should be. And so, with that being said here, the war for not only Cybertron, but the entire universe continued here. The Decepticons were gaining the upper hand at first here, pushing back the evil Autobot forces and actually managing to clear Earth. However, Cybertron was a different story. You see, the evil Autobot scientist Perceptor was able to create not one, not two, not three, but 5 Cybertronian dinosaurs from their elite squad, the Lightning Strike Collision Force, creating the Dinobots. These guys tore through even the strongest of the Decepticon ranks, even including members like Team Char. So, Shockwave decided to take his materials and his genetic laboratory to Earth. And so, he decided that he wanted to create something far more powerful, far more devastating, to push back the armies of Cybertron and pretty much end the Autobots' reign once and for all here. And in doing so, he decided to use not only his multiversal travel, but utilizing his Earth allies' more advanced technology, thanks to the Decepticons having more scientific might than the Autobots. Shockwave set out on a journey crossing through multiple dimensions that were connected to his Omniverse, and well, he found himself a very good source. Let's start off with the first genome, that being Zilla, the base gene here. Now, obviously, this is going to be based off of the 1998 Godzilla rather than the IDW, because let's be real, there's no beating that. There's no beating that version. That one is Solar System. Yeah. And, well, we're actually going to be throwing the Indominus 2.0 against its juvenile stage, which is around 35 feet tall, where it'll definitely be a bit more combat active, if you will, here. Now, what does Godzilla 1998 actually bring to the table? Well, let's talk about it. Now, keep in mind, this is not Zilla Jr., as Zilla Jr. is actually a mutated variant of his species due to his atomic fire breath and his more robust capabilities. But let's talk about what Godzilla 1998 brings to the table here. Well, for starters, his enhanced strength. I mean, being able to bite and crush a helicopter, walking through the MetLife building pretty easily. And again, we also have to talk about his armor. See, with this being a much more fresher Zilla, mind you, this means he has more of his armor. meaning he should be capable of taking nuclear explosions. Keep in mind, it is confirmed that there were a lot of nuclear testings during this time period here in, well, 1998. And this was from the Russians trying to kill Godzilla. However, Godzilla here had a layered armor, a scale armor here, and the last of it was simply busted off by the military. So, with that being said here, this already gives Viperius here a significant advantage, not only in strength but in durability. And also, we have to talk about his intelligence here. You see, Zilla understands that he can outmaneuver and even outsmart highly trained military veterans. We can't say that the Indominus is intelligent, or we cannot say that, the Indominus ain't an intelligent creature at all here. But see, when it comes to Zilla, they're able to coordinate, actually plan things out, and thus using all of their capabilities to detect and even dispatch their opponents here. But now we have to go on to something else here, and that is Zilla's more combustible breath. You see, when Zilla is able to roar, and he's able to use this pressurized breath that not only pushes this significant air out that has a chemical property to it, but causes things with any pyrokinetic or fire-like properties to pretty much combust and explode, creating this sort of flamethrower. As you guys can see here before you, are previous two military veterans. So, with that being said here, Zilla also brings one other thing, and that is its claws. Strong enough to burrow through even gravel, concrete, and metal. And keep in mind, he can just walk through this like it's nothing. Like he's going through this thing like it's a hot knife through butter. But that wraps up Zilla, and now we're going to move on to our next creature, the Tulkun. And here we're going to be taking its brain and lungs. Now, this is pretty important because this will make the Viperius a lot more friendlier towards humans that don't attack it. Now, the Tulkun here is from the world of Pandora, and especially its more open seas here. You see, the Tulkun are a very intelligent species, and in the movie it was stated that they are possibly more intelligent than humans, which I do not find it hard to believe here. However, the one thing that does hinder them, or at least some of them, is their aggression. You see, we're going to be taking the lungs here and just reinforcing Zilla's with them, and pretty much adding the brain here of the Tulkun, combining it with 1998 here, who, definitely has some, I guess you could say some intelligence here, but this puts it over the edge, as we saw how Pycon, who is going to be our DNA donor here, we saw Pycon and how he took out the hunters that plagued him and his species for so long, and he did it systematically. So, with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for Pycon, who's going to be our DNA sample, because again, we need a real stepper here. But now let's move on to creature number 3. The Soundblast Colossus, another creature from Pandora and from the Pandora Frontier games, which, believe it or not, I actually enjoyed watching. Not sure if I can buy it or not. Please let me know on what system I can buy it. I have no idea where to find it. But, yeah, we're actually going to be taking this creature's internal chambers, and here is the reason why. Now, I'm pretty sure the video will pop up pretty soon here, but you see, the Soundblast Colossus, well, pretty much has a sonic blast that I would love to utilize here. You see, it's able to take in air from its entire body and, well, expel it in a highly explosive attack capable of knocking back predators as strong as the Thanator. Keep in mind that if you guys watch my previous video with the Great Leonopteryx versus the Indominus Rex, the Thanator is strong or could easily beat a paleo-accurate Tyrannosaurus Rex. Something that even Goji Center has noted would just run through the Jurassic Park's heavy hitters because it has a lot more substantial, larger, and, substantial strength and, substantial jaw strength and mass and stuff like that. You guys saw the video. But again, the Soundblast Colossus' internal air chambers combined with the Tulkun's lungs reinforcing Zilla's own lungs here would give the Viperius the ability to not only inhale much larger amounts of oxygen here, but would allow him to expel it at such an astonishing rate that it would be. But now let's talk about something we're going to reinforce, that being the armor. You see, this is very, very important here because I don't want Viperius to be hurt at all by anything the Indom can throw its way. The disease won't work because of its radioactive biology, plus it's likely a lot bigger, and because of the chemical properties in it, yeah, I don't think the disease is going to be able to work here. Now, next off, we are going to talk about how we can reinforce its armor, and that is because of our next creature here, a Tidal Najarala. Yes, we're going to be reinforcing Zilla's armor here with the, well, DNA of a Tidal Najarala, simply because it is bigger and stronger. However, just so we don't have any issues, we are also going to give it the flexibility of a Najarala as well, meaning we are going to have to add some muscle details to it. And keep in mind, Shockwave himself is a bit of perfectionist here, meaning he'll make sure that everything and everything about this creature is compatible, from its toenails all the way to its respiratory system here. So giving him Najarala's DNA would definitely suffice here, considering the sheer fact that Najarala's own scales are pretty much immune to its sonic roar, which actually is able to just burst these scales at a certain frequency here. So giving him that, and considering the sheer fact that this was immune, this armor, if you guys watch my old ecology video for Najarala, is immune to the likes of a Devil Joe's bite force, which is known to crush bone. Yeah, I don't even think I need to say it here. Keep in mind, I did say that Najarala, or at least Tidal Najarala here, is capable of taking down a Devil Joe, likely with a successful ambush and, well, a well-placed neck bite as well, injecting its own venom. We will not be giving Viperius the venom, albeit it could just make it more interesting, so maybe we'll give it. But right now, we are focusing on more of the armor and the flexibility of it so that Zilla would not have any issues when he becomes the Viperius. But let's add one more, Nergigante, for its regeneration and its strength. Yes, we are going the overkill route here because, again, Goji Center is going to have to counter multiple verses at the same time here. You see, Nergigante himself is the strongest of the Elder Dragons, and again, keep in mind we are excluding Dalmador and Raviente. So with that being said here, yes, Nergigante is the strongest, being able to literally box up the likes of Rajang, who is known to hunt down Elder Dragons and even slam a Devil Joe. Keep in mind, Nergigante even hunts these guys for his breakfast, lunch, dinner, and his reproductive purposes. Speaking of which, that's where his regeneration comes from. You see, he can regenerate from just about anything, even having himself carved up by a hunter just to regenerate later, because he does not need his heart in order to regenerate. You see, all he needs is a piece of him, and he can just simply come back. Keep in mind, this is a much more successful version of asexual reproduction, as it's simply just a clone of the original. Keep in mind, it'll have all the memories and experiences of that Nergigante, or Viperius as well, meaning that if Goji Center somehow decides to upgrade Indominus Rex to 10-fold some type of Kaiju level, which I highly doubt they're going to do here, but even then, feats are way more important than actual stats. So with that being said here, that's going to conclude everything here. And well, that's it. That's the Viperius' DNA, Zilla, Tulkun, Soundblast Colossus, Tidal Najarala, and Nergigante, all perfectly balanced and created by Shockwave. Bye!